In this lesson, we're going to learn about layer basics. We're going to learn how to create, view, hide, rearrange layers, apply blending modes, resize, rotate, and apply a gradient, and so much more. So let's go to our mini bridge here and launch bridge, and let's locate our Photoshop CS5 folder. Mine's on my desktop, and yours is probably in your documents or on your um, file space there. So I'm going to open up my Photoshop CS5 lessons folder, and in here I'm going to scroll down to lesson 4. Now you might have it like this, you might have it viewed differently, so just know this is how I have mine. And let's go ahead and open up click on this and hold your shift key down. Let's click on our end and our start at the same time and double click to open. And once again it stacks it. But let's try something new here. Let's view it a little differently. Let's go up here to our Arrange Documents icon and go down to the 2 up button. And this way we can look at our documents side by side. So I usually like my start file on the left and my finished file on the right. Let me pull that over now. It likes to dock these things. Tab them. Anyway, let's do that. This way I can see what it's supposed to look like. So we're going to be doing a Hawaiian postcard with a beautiful hibiscus, pineapple, and we're going to learn how to make clouds using a filter. So let's go ahead and start up. So go ahead and select your Start PSD, and you will notice down here it has a few layers already in it. We've got our background, which is our white, our pineapple, our flower, Hawaii, and postage. Now these 3 layers are not visible. If I click on them, this makes them visible. But I'm going to hide them for right now. So let's go ahead and save this file as a different file. That way we're not overwriting the start file. So we'll go to File, Save As, and we're going to call this our working file. Call it 04 Working. A working file has all the layers in it. And go ahead and save that in your Lesson 4 folder. And just say OK here. And the reason we want a working file is because this is the file we're going to use to edit in the future. So the first thing we're going to do is go to our mini bridge, just clicking once and scrolling down that we're already in Lesson 4 folder and double clicking our beach PSD. And you can see the beach has one layer called layer 1. Let's go ahead and change that name there. Double click it and we'll just type in the word beach. Okay. Now I'm going to pull these apart. Pull this over here and close mini bridge by hitting the double arrow. Okay, so what I want to do is drag and drop. So I'm going to drag this in and drop it here. Now I'm on my working file, and you can see in my layers I have my beach layer. So the name of the layer came over with it. So we can go ahead and close this beach PSD file and don't save. What we're going to do is add a border around our beach layer, or our beach, and let's put it where it needs to be. We're going to drag this between the pineapple and the flower, right about here. You can see that black line. That means I can let go and it's now there. Now we don't have the flower layer on yet, but when we do, you can see it will be underneath it there. Okay, so we're going to add a border to this layer, and I'm going to hide this one and I'm going to hide this one. It's just easier to work with. We're going to go up to our layer menu and drop down to layer style and then go to what's called stroke. And here we're going to put in a 5 pixel stroke. I can type it in here, just 5. And the position is going to be inside. And the blend mode is going to be on normal at 100%, but I want it to be white. So I just go to this far left corner, and I can see it's almost white. My CMYK says it's got 1% cyan. Make this all 0. Or your RGB setting should be all 255 in each one of these too. And say OK. That's pure white. And say OK. So now we have a little border around our beach image. So let's turn on our other layers. We've got a flower layer, Hawaii, and postage, and our pineapple layer, and our background. We're going to change the opacity on our postage layer. So we're going to click on it, and right up here it says opacity. It means the same thing as transparency. We're going to come down to about 24, 25, around in here. And if you can't get exactly on 25, you can always type it in and hit enter. We're going to actually do what's called duplicating a layer. And we're going to duplicate our pineapple layer. Now there's a couple ways to do it. We're going to drag it over the new layer icon, just like that, and it makes a copy. Or, if you want to, make sure the layer is selected and hit Command J. Either way. And now with the pineapple copy selected, we're going to do a blending mode. And we're going to go up here to the overlay mode. So let's click on overlay. And that just makes everything brighter. Let's back up so you can see that real quick. Before and after. So that really enhances all the colors and contrasts of that pineapple. Now we're going to resize and rotate our beach layer. So select it first, and we're going to go ahead and hit Command T. That's our transform. And we're going to rotate it. Now we're going to rotate it 15 degrees. So you can see up here is our rotation box. Now watch as I turn it. You can see it's changing. Now rather than try to figure out 15 degrees, I can go ahead and type it in here. 15, enter. And now it's exactly 15 degrees. And then I want to grab the corner and hold my shift key down and scale it down to 50%. So here's my scale. And you can see right up here my width and my height. It's linked together. In other words, whatever I change here is going to automatically be updated here. So I may as well just go ahead and type in 50% on both of them and hit enter. And then over here, click on your commit tool, and then you have it, and just position it like you see in the file beside you here. Let's see, where are we? Right about here. Okay. Okay, we're going to add in one more image, another flower, and we're going back to mini bridge like this, and we're going to go to this pink flower here, and we're going to literally just drag and drop just like this. Now when I do that, it actually makes what we call a smart object. And I'm going to go ahead and hit commit up here. And you can tell it's a smart object here because it has this little icon in here. And we're going to position that down here. Let me get rid of my bridge so we can look at this file here. So it's kind of like that. And the beauty of a smart object, it's a layer that you can edit without making permanent changes. And we'll be dealing more with smart objects in other lessons. So we're going to stop here, and in the next movie we're going to be adding text and adding a gradient and applying a layer style.